not prepared!
Welcome to another video, guys. The nerfs just have been announced, as well as the buffs, and in this video we will do a quick cover over what we're seeing. Like, subscribe, let's get into it. Alrighty, so basically it is what we expected. It looks like I've nailed most of these, but then again I did cover a lot of cards and a lot of scenarios, so it wasn't that big a deal. But here we are, 8 mana Celestial, which is exactly what I predicted. 8 mana for Celestial is not gonna make the deck that much worse, and it's still gonna be pretty competitive, but it's definitely gonna tone it down a bit, and it's gonna feel a lot worse against fast aggro decks. You will have a whole extra turn of getting your damage in before they can Celestial you, and the thing about them Celestialing is they also skip the next turn, so it's actually pretty huge. All in all, I do believe this is gonna make the deck a lot harder to play, but it's still gonna be a monster of a deck against control decks. Next up we have Alliance Bannerman, which is something I didn't think they will be touching, and honestly they kinda didn't, cause dropping the health to Alliance Bannerman, like really? I wouldn't care if this guy was a 0/0 Blizz, like what do you mean? Like as long as we have a body on the board and we draw a card and we get the buff down, like that's all we need. We don't really care about this guy's health, we never really care if it survives, like if he managed to receive a buff, it's great and all, but all in all, I think this is a pretty light slap on the wrist for Libram Pally and Buff Pally, so all in all, I don't think this is gonna change much for Paladin. Next up we have Rogue with Octobot, which is another thing I did predict. We are bumping the mana up to 3 mana, and everything else remains the same. This not only slows down the combo for rogues, but it also makes it a lot easier for the opponent to actually have a card to deal with it with 4 attack. You could either already have set up a free drop on the board and wait for the Octobot to drop, or you can already have a 3 mana spell that deals more than 3 damage. Either way, this should make Garrett Rogue feel a little bit, just a little bit more fair, but honestly, it's still gonna be a pretty busted deck. Next on the list is Snowfall Guardian, which really did feel a little bit too good for too little. So bumping it up to 6 mana should make it just a little bit more fair. I do like the approach for the nerfs, they're going pretty lightly, and they're not swinging too hard for most of the cards, at least so far. And this is another great example. Just bumping the mana with just 1 more feels pretty safe, and this card is still gonna be pretty top tier for Shamans, that's for sure. You can still discount this with your Granite Forgeborn, and you will be able to drop it as soon as 4, 5, or let's face it, even on 6 it's gonna be hella fine. So yeah, all in all, pretty fine here. Now let's go to the important nerfs, and they're a lot. Touch of the Nef regime is only gonna be healing 3 health this time, and even though it sounds like not that big a deal, let's remember all of the times we were missing that 1 extra bit of damage to finish off the opponent and they managed to heal up almost to full. Getting only 3 heal out of this is definitely gonna feel a lot better for the opposing player, and it's gonna better your odds to actually snag the win out of those pesky Warlock decks. Next on the list is Ruined Mithril Rod going up to 5 mana, so this should slow down the Owl OTK potential a lot. They are running 2 of these as well as Touch of Nef regime, so far we have 2 pretty big nerfs for the same deck. And also Hand Warlock was using this from time to time, but I'm assuming they're permanently gonna drop this now. But for Owl Warlock, this is a pretty important card because they do need to discount their combo pieces in order to do it efficiently. So this should tone down the power level of Owls for sure. We also have a pretty insignificant nerf to Pirate Warrior, with Bloodsail Deckhand losing 1 health, which is basically nothing. Again, this looks like the Banana Man slap on the wrist, and it's really not gonna change much. Pirate Warrior is still gonna be the same powerhouse, and yeah, it's gonna be business as usual for them, so no reason even to talk about this one. Another important nerf here is actually Iron Deep Trog, which is gonna lose the potential to split up buffs. And now you're only gonna be getting a vanilla 1/2 Trog on the side for each spell cast. This is by no means bad, and it still should remain in Paladins, I do believe, but the rest of the classes are probably gonna be dropping this one. This is another pretty exact nerf I predicted for this card, so I'm happy to see I managed to guess that one. Obviously this is gonna make the card feel a lot more balanced, and people are not just gonna insta-concede as soon as they see it, but still, this card should be remaining powerful. Another huge nerf, we have more Guardifyster going up to 3 mana and bumping the health with 1, which is again something I pretty much predicted. This should help make the decks that are abusing this Artificer feel a little bit more fair, including Demon Hunters as well as Warlocks, and that is gonna make it harder for them to actually abuse super early game clears as well as big boy heals. This is gonna make OTK Demon Hunter pull off the combo a little bit harder as well, because if you don't get lucky pulling this after you finish the quest, it's gonna be a little bit too expensive for you. And it probably will be pretty important to be able to glide after you completed the quest once. Same goes for Warlock. They're gonna be having a lot harder time dealing with big boy targets, and they're gonna have to think twice how they wanna be maneuvering their mana. And now let's move down to the buffs. And we have a few. I'm not sure why the Tavish hero card, hero power, looks like it's a mage card, but this is the Hunter hero card Summoned Pet, which used to cost 3 mana to get a basically animal companion. Whereas now you're gonna only have to pay 2 mana, which is what it should have been at the beginning, Blizz. Like, really, that hero card didn't feel that great either way, and it making its hero power the most expensive one, like, really? It's not even that much, it's just a freaking animal companion, bro. This is Hearthstone 2021, like, what the hell was that? So yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna become super meta just yet, but it definitely gives it some potential for the future at least. We have another buff to a card I have literally never seen before. This parrot used to cost 8 mana, but now it's going down to 6, as well as its stats are gonna be 4/5 instead of its old 6/6, which again I've never seen. This should give a little more potential to Big Spell Mage, but it's probably gonna need a little bit more support and maybe a little bit different of a meta. But it's probably a step in the right direction, so time will tell. The effect still remains the same, which is repeat the last spell you've cast that costs 5 mana or more, which is gonna be powerful, but I'm not sure just yet. We have another mage card getting buffed, and that is Magister Dung, which used to cost 8 mana and now it's going down to 7. We also have a change to the hero power, which used to deal 1 damage, and when you honorably kill with it, you gain +2 damage, whereas now it's gonna start off as dealing 2 damage right off the bat, which is kinda pretty good. You also get to cast all of the spells you've played from each school, but that's old news. But I needed to remind you while I was reminding myself what this thing did. And we also have a minor buff to Wildfire, which is now actually going to persist for your hero power even after you play Dawn Grasp. So basically you are gonna have +1 on the hero power even as Dawn Grasp, so as soon as you play this guy you are gonna be at 3 damage already, and if you've played 2 it's gonna be on 4, and etc. But yeah, it does give some new potential to Mage, but I'm just not sure it's gonna be that good just yet. Honestly, maybe they're just gonna slap Dawn Grasp and Wildfire into no minion mage for now, and the big spell mage stuff is gonna be for later, with some future expansions dropping. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about these buffs. Honestly, I think they should change just a little bit the meta. They're not gonna shift it too majorly, and I'm not sure that's a bad thing, cause I kinda like the state of the game right now, even though obviously there were some pretty busted stuff. All in all, I think the nerfs look pretty fair, but the sad news is we're not gonna be getting that much dust out of them, even though there are quite a few cards. We're getting 2 epic cards nerfed with Celestial Alignment and more Guardifyster, 3 rare cards with Touch, Ruined Mithril Rod, as well as Trog, and the rest is commons. But all in all, it should be a good chunk of dust, especially if you have followed my tips not to be pressing that mass disenchant button, and I hope you do, because that really stacks in the future. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it helped you figure out what's gonna be happening in the future days to come. And if that's the case, a like and a subscribe would be pretty welcome. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.